Hello, welcome. I'm Coach Christian and I help extremely stressed people to deal with their stress by observing it for themselves. Welcome once again to another video. I typically publish one video every single day that's designed to help you deal with your stress. And I typically answer a question in every single one of those videos. So, without wasting much time, let's go to the question of the day. The question is as follows. Coach Christian, I sometimes get into bitter arguments with my loved ones. The truth is that I don't like arguing and being in conflict with others. Is there anything you can tell me about resolving conflicts? Coach Christian, I sometimes get into bitter arguments with my loved ones. The truth is that I don't like arguing and being in conflict with others. Is there anything you can tell me about resolving conflicts? So the question is about conflict resolution, right? So this person gets into a lot of conflicts, right? And if you look at it carefully, your entire life is full of conflict, right? Basically, we can think of conflict as when we talk about conflict, we're talking about the feeling that it generates in you, right? For instance, if you let's look at moments that are not considered to be conflict, right? For instance, you and someone are just chatting and maybe you're laughing. Clearly, that's not a conflict situation, right? Because you're experiencing joy within yourself. Um, you're seated down eating a meal and you're enjoying the meal. There is no conflict. Conflict only occurs, right, when you experience a feeling you don't want to have. Right? If something's making you feel great, obviously there is no conflict. So when you're talking about resolving a conflict, right, there's two ways to go about it, right? So you get into an argument with somebody, right, and that makes you feel bad. The moment you start feeling bad, there is conflict, right? And the moment the other person starts feeling bad, there is conflict, right? This is true obviously in the work situation, right? Maybe your boss just called you into the office and told you how incompetent you are, right? The moment you get angry or you feel small, the moment you start feeling bad, generate stress within yourself, conflict has begun. So the question is, how do we deal with conflict, right? When we're asking about how to deal with conflict, we're asking about how to deal with, when we're talking about resolving conflict, we're talking about how to deal with the emotions within, right? Obviously, think about it. If someone came, if my boss called me and called me incompetent and a loser, and it didn't affect me at all, like I just smiled or it really didn't matter to me, I just remained calm, then there is no conflict as far as I'm concerned. The boss might get into conflict, maybe get a little irritated that calling me incompetent did nothing to me, right? So it's the internal feeling we're talking about, right? And obviously, when we're talking about resolving conflict, it's not really the other how the other person feels, right? Because we're talking about here really, we'll go deeper into conflict, but the most basic conflict that people think about is conflict between people. You're in conflict with your mother-in-law. You're in conflict with your boss. You're in conflict with your roommate. You're in conflict with your girlfriend. That's what people usually think about. Or there's a conflict between nations, right? So conflicts are usually seen to involve two parties, right? So resolving a conflict, you might think is, if I want to resolve a conflict between me and my boss, the conflict is only resolved if me and my boss are now okay, or me and my boss have our needs met, right? But I want to alter your perception a bit when it comes to that. When it comes to your boss or the person you're in conflict with, really how that person feels is not in your control. I mean, you could try to talk to them, but it's not in your control how they feel. I mean, if someone, let's say, is somebody hates you, I mean, you can try to talk to them, convince them you're a good person. Uh, you didn't mean to, you didn't mean to make them feel this way, or you didn't mean to, I don't know, do whatever. But ultimately, it's up to them whether to be angry at you or not, whether to hate you or not, whether to be sad or not. So the other party's feelings, and you can try, but they're not really in your control. And I mean, if we're really, if I mean, if we're just, if we're gonna also gonna be really direct here, the reality is that you don't really care about that person's feelings. What you care about is the effect that that person's feelings have upon you, right? So you might say, no, no, Christian, that's definitely not true. If I say something and someone, if I, let's say, speak to a kid harshly and the kid breaks into tears, I'm affected. That makes me sad. That or like just the fact that they're suffering makes me feel bad. But if you look deeply, you'll realize that the reason, let's say, the kid's crying is a problem to you is not because the kid is crying. It's because the kid's crying makes you feel bad. It's really about you and how you feel. It's not so much about others. I know you've been taught to be caring and loving, and you should always think about others. No, but I'm not talking about how you should be. We're talking about the reality. The reality is you don't really care about how, I don't know, the conflict is affecting your girlfriend. What you care about is how the way she's feeling, how that makes you feel. If she's angry, that might also make you feel angry, and you really care about your own anger. If she's unhappy and maybe stops doing things she used to do, like maybe smile at you, that's what's really affecting you. So when we're talking about resolving conflict, really we're focusing about on creating joy within yourself. On We're talking about dealing with the emotions that you are experiencing. Because that's really where the conflict is. The conflict is with you, right? It's an event happened, and the event is causing you, as a result of the event, you are generating a certain emotional state, right? The event happened. The boss called you incompetent. The event itself is not the problem, right? The problem is you and the emotions you're generating within yourself, right? Maybe sadness, maybe anger, maybe feeling unappreciated. That's the problem, right? So, and then you might say, okay, but Christian, man, like, isn't it selfish for me to focus on myself and how I feel? No, not really, because again, when think about the moments when you are in a conflict. Let's say you're feeling sad, frustrated, you're feeling that people have taken advantage of you, or you're feeling afraid, or you're feeling left out, whatever it is, any form of conflict within you. Whenever you're in such a state, you're not able to behave intelligently. You're certainly not going to be helpful to others, right? Whenever you're miserable, the only thing you can spread is misery. Isn't this clear? Like, if you're angry, it's very easy for people around you to get angry also, because people can pick up on your state, right? If you're depressed, then you also depress everyone around you. So if you really even care about helping others, then the key is to first help yourself. When we talk about resolving conflict, first resolve the conflict within yourself, right? Focus on you first, because if you resolve your own conflict and put yourself in a state you like, a joyful state, a calm state, from such a state, you're better able to help others, right? Think about the moments when you're joyful. Don't you naturally want to help others? Don't you naturally want to make things better for them? Aren't you a joy to be around? Think about the moments when you're calm. Don't you calm others down also, right? So, so yes, I'm saying be selfish. Okay, be selfish. Make yourself happy first. But if you think about it, it's not really selfish, because making yourself happy is going to make other people happy. So then the question becomes, all right, since resolving conflict is dealing with my own internal state, my own suffering, my own stress, since that's what it takes to resolve a conflict, well, how do I deal with those? How do I deal with those emotions, right? So And this is a tool I recommend very often, right? I mean, you might not have gotten to the level where, let's say, you can get into an argument with your boss. Your boss can call you incompetent and you don't get angry. You might not have gotten to such a state. So maybe they'll call you incompetent and you will get angry, right? Which is the reality for most people. If somebody insults you, you just generate conflict within yourself. It's almost just automatic. So that's how most people are. Obviously, if you're at the point where uh, people around you can be in conflict, they're angry, they're shouting, and you're still able to remain calm and joyful, obviously you don't really need help with conflict resolution. You resolve the conflict. So we're talking about here someone who is not able to do that, right? So things affect you. If the boss calls you incompetent, that affects you. That makes you feel sad. That makes you feel worthless. How do you deal with these emotions? So the key is you want to understand how, right? You want to know how are you generating this misery within yourself? How are you generating the anger? How are you generating the fear? How are you generating the depression? It's clearly happening within you. It's not the situation that's making it happen. So you want to understand how exactly are you generating these emotions? How are you creating conflict? Okay? So how do you understand how you're generating conflict and all this, how you're generating conflict within yourself and thus spreading conflict all over the world? There's only one thing to do in this case is observe. Observe the conflict within yourself. Sit down with your back straight to be as alert as possible so you can really see the conflict happening. Close your eyes to shut out all distractions so you're only focused on your internal state. And then let whatever happens. Feel everything deeply. So if your boss just called you incompetent and you felt angry, pay attention to the anger. Maybe you might want to leave his office before doing this. Maybe go to the bathroom or something. But you sit down, keep your back straight, close your eyes, and just feel the emotion. Right? Feel whatever the anger that's generated within you, all the negative feelings you have about your boss, all the memories of the other bad things the boss has said to you, all the thoughts of quitting the job and finding a better situation. Let all of those emotions play out. First of all, at the beginning, it might not make much of a difference, right? I mean, one difference would be is that you'll notice if you do this that this conflict cannot last forever. You can actually wait it out. If you sit this way, back straight, eyes closed, and you just sit and you let the conflict happen, you feel whatever is happening in your body, the conflict will be resolved after a while within yourself. And after a while, it will really diminish and no longer have control over you. The anger towards your boss will drop. The frustration will drop. The feelings of worthlessness will drop if you just sit and you let it happen. But you see, if you don't fight the feeling, if you don't fight the conflict within yourself, there is no way the conflict will be able to grow. But if you fight it, you encourage it, then the conflict is only going to get bigger. So let the conflict happen within yourself. And we said that one of the things you'll notice is that over time, first of all, the conflict is going to diminish to the point where it's not really a big deal anymore. But if you perform this practice whenever you are in conflict, you'll begin to learn all sorts of things. The mere act of observing the conflict within you will lead you to get a deeper understanding of how your thoughts and emotions work, how your memory works, and how your imagination works. This very observation will give you this information, which means that next time, even if you get into a conflict next time, you'll never be totally lost in the conflict. There will be a part of you that is conscious of what is happening. And this is really the beginning of transformation. All right, look, if you like the ideas that I shared in this video, right, please don't forget to like the video, right, subscribe to it, and hit the bell notification. Ding, 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 ding. This will alert you whenever I come out with a new video, right? Again, because I publish a video every single day where I answer a question, right, that is designed, I answer a question and thus provide you with tools that you can use to deal with any stressful situation in your life. All right. And in particular, look, if you have a, so I think we've just talked, if you have a question, I don't know if I said this before, but I usually answer questions. So if you have a question, please go to the description of this video and ask the question. Actually, if you put it in the comment section, I'll answer it in the comment section, very likely, or I might even answer it in a forthcoming video. And pretty much any comment you add is welcome because I really want to know what you're thinking. This will make sure that the next video I make is geared towards to meet your needs. And in particular, if this observe approach to dealing with conflict is something that interests you and you want to learn more about it, in the description of this video, just at the bottom, um, there's a part there which is called there's a link there called the observe approach. Click on that link, and this will give you free and instant access to a simple but very powerful method that you can apply immediately to deal with any problem that is stressing you out. Right, so if you just click there, you'll have access to that. And in particular, look, I work as a relationship coach. So if right now you're at a low point in your life, and in particular, you have a relationship that's not working, a relationship that's full of conflict, and I mean, you're thinking of ending this relationship, or you're afraid that your partner is going to end the relationship, then for a limited time only, I'm offering a free relationship rescue coaching session. This will be online. And in the relationship rescue coaching session, we'll get a crystal clear vision of the kind of happy relationship you want to have. We'll figure out precisely what is stopping you from having this great relationship. What are the obstacles that are stopping you from having this great relationship? And then you leave the session renewed, re-energized, and inspired to create this kind of relationship you want, or know when it's time to end the relationship. To take advantage of this free relationship rescue coaching session, just go to the description of this video. There'll be a link there. Just click on it and send me a message letting me know that you want to take advantage of this limited time only free relationship rescue coaching session. Otherwise, again, thank you very much for watching this video and hope to see you on the next one. Bye.